Get your daily news fix. From NewsSource Scrawler's latest edition, 16 March 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. A river in Zambia suddenly ceased to flow due to an acidic waste spill from a Chinese-owned mine, leading to an environmental disaster on the Kafue River. The rising price of gold is pushing narcos into illegal mining in the Amazon. Mexicans are demanding explanations following the discovery of bones and shoes at a cartel camp.
Ted Lasso renewed for Season 4, Jason Sudeikis returning. Netflix's most expensive movie ever, The Electric State, is a dumb, unfunny $320 million flop. A documentary analyzes Street Fighter II's cultural impact, 30-plus years later.
NASA analysis shows unexpected amount of sea level rise in 2024. Melting Antarctic ice sheets will slow Earth's strongest ocean current, and Earth's strongest ocean current could slow down by 20% by 2050 in a high-emissions future. At least 32 dead as tornadoes sweep through parts of U.S.
Trump promises to reveal his adversaries in a political speech at the Justice Department, labeling CNN and MSNBC as illegal for their negative reporting. Trump refers an 18th-century law to expedite deportations, but a judge halts it shortly after, as the White House declared the invocation of the Alien Enemies Act concerning the Tren de Aragua invasion of the United States. Additionally, Trump annuls nearly 20 executive orders from the Biden administration.
The Justice Department is considering terrorism charges against pro-Palestinian demonstrators at Columbia University. In the United States, more than 50 universities are being investigated under Trump's campaign against DEI initiatives. A woman involved in a protest at Columbia University was detained for immigration violations, while another individual chose to self-deport, according to DHS. Ukraine's President Zelensky expresses optimism about concluding the war. Following a request from Trump, Putin announces he will allow Ukrainian troops in Kursk to remain if they surrender. Zelensky denies any encirclement of Ukrainian troops in Russia's Kursk region, accusing Putin of deceit. Trump clarifies he was being somewhat sarcastic when he claimed he could end the Russia-Ukraine war in 24 hours. Meanwhile, Germany secures an agreement to significantly increase spending on defense, climate, and other areas.
AI researchers doubt that current models will result in artificial general intelligence. A Japanese startup, Sakana, creates the world's first AI-generated paper, which successfully undergoes peer review. Experiments suggest that ChatGPT is seen as more empathetic than human crisis responders. Foxconn supports AI servers following a decline in profits and predicts robust growth in AI server demand by 2025. JP Morgan engineers experience a 20% increase in efficiency due to a coding assistant. TechCrunch notes confusion about the definition of an AI agent. Amazon will no longer allow users to opt out of sending Echo voice recordings to the cloud, with all Echo interactions being sent to Amazon beginning March 28.
Baidu, a Chinese company, introduces a new, complementary AI model to challenge DeepSeek. Meanwhile, Sesame, the entity responsible for the popular virtual assistant Maya, unveils its foundational AI model. Additionally, China mandates the labeling of online content produced by AI. Will Smith is planning to release his first full-length album in more than 2 decades, titled Based on a True Story, which is scheduled for a March 2025 debut. Meanwhile, Sony is developing a reboot of Starship Troopers, with Neil Blomkamp set to direct a new adaptation of the science fiction novel. Additionally, Stephen Curry has made history as the first NBA player to achieve 4,000 three-pointers.
In the U.S., the housing market is tightening, with the income required to purchase a typical home increasing by 79% over the past 5 years. Bloomberg indicates that Gen Z Americans lack sufficient savings to cover even a single month of expenses. Additionally, in the U.S., a staggering $12.5 billion was reported lost to scams and fraud in 2024, disproportionately affecting older adults. Rubio announces South African ambassador to the U.S. as persona non grata due to Trump comments, while the U.S. expels the ambassador, accusing him of hating Trump. The EU removes Russian oligarchs from its list following sanctions pressure from Hungary and Slovakia. China's intense criticism of the Panama port deal places pressure on the Li Ka-shing family. Chinese scientists have engineered E. coli to become photosynthetic. MIT engineers have successfully converted skin cells directly into neurons for use in cell therapy. The spraying of water microdroplets creates luminescence and initiates chemical reactions in the adjacent gas, with tiny microlightning flashes within water droplets potentially having ignited life on Earth.
RCS Update introduces end-to-end encryption, with Google and Apple confirming their support. Apple will soon enable encrypted RCS messaging with Android users. An internet breakthrough sees the unveiling of the world's first operating system for quantum networks, QNOT OS, which is the first of its kind and sets the stage for future quantum applications. A Chinese team has officially reported on Zukanzi 3.0, claiming a speedup of 1,000,000 times over Google's Sycamore.
China pledges increased investment in the challenging endeavor of job creation. Hong Kong is preparing to lift the storage limit for embryos and gametes. Wind and solar energy have surpassed coal power for the first time in the United States.
China's observatory in Chile faces uncertainty due to U.S. concerns about possible military use. After 43 years of engineering, China's indigenous beef cattle breed is set to debut globally, with its first export to Laos. Documents reveal that a Vietnam regulator has proposed approving Chinese Comac jets.
Japan's Supreme Court sets the stage for the Unification Church's dissolution. Indonesia starts discussions on permitting soldiers to hold civilian positions. Cloudflare's CAPTCHA system seems to obstruct specialized browsers like Pale Moon.
Delivery driver suffers severe burns from hot tea at Starbucks, receives $50 million compensation from LA jury. SpaceX reveals that not all dying Starlink satellites completely burn up upon re-entry. Sweden's Klarna announces a 24% revenue increase in its eagerly anticipated US IPO filing.
Nationwide demonstrations are being organized following the detention of a former Columbia University activist by immigration enforcement. Hamas declares it will only free the American-Israeli hostage upon the execution of a ceasefire agreement, while Israel continues its military operations in Gaza despite the truce. A pro-Israel organization claims to possess a deportation list and has reportedly submitted thousands of names to Trump administration officials.
#21shares plans to liquidate 2 Bitcoin and Ether futures ETFs due to the market downturn. Block is focusing on lending expansion following a stock slump 1 month ago, as reported by Reuters. Binance CEO suggests Trump might influence a global pro-crypto movement.
Crypto password cracking firm Unciphered faces turmoil due to co-founder's controversial past. Dual Russian and Israeli national extradited to the United States for his involvement in the Lockbit ransomware conspiracy. Pirate Bay financier and far-right activist Carl Lundstrom passes away in a plane crash.
EU plans to allocate $5 billion to South Africa following the withdrawal of U.S. aid. The Atlantic notes that Democrats in the U.S. face challenges with male representation. In the U.S., local funding for initiatives like airports and mentorship programs is vanishing amidst the budget conflict.